And while all this was going on, Donald Trump held a mini press conference scrum, for lack of a better term, on Air Force One. And I want you to listen to the audio. When a reporter asked Donald Trump, do you believe Putin is disrespecting you by attacking Ukraine? And listen to Donald Trump's pathetic response to it.
Disrespecting you by attacking Ukraine when you're trying to
Who?
President Putin disrespecting you by attacking Ukraine.
What did he do?
Well, he's attacking Ukraine.
Is he disrespecting me?
Yep.
Who are you with?
Michael Burbank.
You've lost a lot of credibility. Go ahead. What else?
You've lost a lot of credibility. Why don't you answer the question, you draft-dodging coward? What does it matter what publication he's from? Who are you with? What the hell does that have to do with anything? You said you would end this war in 24 hours. You adjudicated rapist piece of human garbage. You said that you would end this war in 24 hours. You turd, you felon, you liar, you scum. And then a member of the media, it doesn't matter where they're from. It's a very honest and fair question. You're the one who said you would end this war in 24 hours. Vladimir Putin invaded Ukraine, but worse, even worse, under your leadership or lack thereof, he had these airstrikes the other day. 27 people lost their lives, including some children. And not only the coward that you are, you won't even answer the question. Where are you from? Oh, my God, how dare you ask a question that puts me in a corner? Why don't you answer the question, you coward? Because you're not giving Ukraine the intelligence they need, especially in an attack like that, or the artillery that they need. Innocent people died. Donald Trump has blood in his hands. Where are you from? What publication are you from? Well, he's not from a publication that'll be asking Zelensky whether he's wearing a tie or not. He's not from a publication that'll be praising you. It's from a publication that's asking you real questions, you frickin' idiot. And this is the point in the press conference where he's asked, would you consider lifting the intel pause on Ukraine so that these types of attacks won't happen down the road? Listen to this pathetic answer.
Concern is his department is being gutted. He's been, dealing with these crashes ever since he was sworn in. Does he have a legitimate concern?
Well, that has nothing to do with the department. That was a small plane. That would have happened whether you had a big department or a small department, as you understand. It's just they have space like this. They have times when things happen a little bit more often than normal, and then it goes back and you go many years without having a problem. I'll tell you, I think the Southwest pilot did a fantastic job last week when he lifted that plane off the air, because if he put the brakes on, that wouldn't have been good. And I think the license should be maybe revoked for the plane that got in the way from the pilot, revoked for the plane that got in its way. But the way he immediately stepped in the gas and lifted up, as opposed to, thinking for about 3 seconds when it would have been too late. The Southwest pilot or pilots they did a great job.
So that was the point, forgive me, in the press conference where he's talking about the plane crashes, and a reporter asked him about all these crashes that have taken place in the last 7 weeks. And being the stable genius that Donald Trump is, his response, quote, they have times when things happen a little bit more often than normal, and then it goes back, and then you go many years without having a problem. I mean, what an idiot. That's the way he answers the question. What an idiot. That's his response to all these plane crashes. And yeah, this is Donald Trump now asked if he's going to lift the intel pause on Ukraine, which is still in effect, by the way.
Would you consider lifting the intel pause on Ukraine? What does Ukraine have?
Well, we just about have. I mean, we really just about have. And we want to do anything we can to get Ukraine to be serious about getting something done.
No, you haven't. He's lying. The intel pause has not been lifted. What do you mean just about has? No, it hasn't. If you didn't hold this and hold the intel on Ukraine, maybe those 27 lives would have been saved. You idiot. We just about have. No, it's either you lift it or you don't. You haven't lifted it. Zelensky and his crew do not have the intel from the United States of America that they need that could help save lives. You buffoon, you orange turd, you. He's lying. We just about have. That's like asking the president, Have you been faithful on every ex-wife you've ever had? I just about have. Do you wake up in the morning and not put on makeup? Yeah, I just about have. Mr. President, are you morbidly obese? I just about am not. I mean, what does that mean? We just about have. That's a lie. It's a lie. The intel pause is still in effect. He has not lifted it. Part of the reason why 27 innocent people died the other day, and he's got blood in his hands, just like everybody else in the Republican Party that does nothing about gun control, for example. You guys are cowards, you're liars, and you curl yourself into a pretzel making excuse for Orange Man. And I've had it. There is no pause, that the intel pause has not been lifted, you lying scum. And then there's a reporter that asked, what about Russia, China, and Iran? They're doing military exercises together. That didn't happen under the Biden administration. It's happening under the Trump administration. Does that concern you, Mr. President? Listen to this.
China and Iran are doing military exercises together. Does that concern you?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Why not?
Because we're stronger than all of them. We have more power than all of them. I rebuilt the military. Unfortunately, Biden did nothing with it, but I rebuilt the military. But we don't want to even talk about that.
Yeah, no, you don't want to talk about it. So let's get this right. 3 countries that are a direct threat to the United States of America and the world, quite frankly. Russia, China, and Iran working together, doing military exercises, and any reasonable American would say that's concerning at a minimum. And the President of the United States, the liable sexual abusing felon himself, is asked, does that concern you? And he says no. But why? Why doesn't that concern you? Oh, because we're stronger than them. I mean, can you get any dumber? Can you get any dumber? Do we understand as a country how serious this is? Everything wouldn't have happened, if I was there. It happened under the Biden administration. Really? Well, why is Russia, China, and Iran doing military exercises together? Oh, I'm not concerned about that because we're stronger than them. That's like saying Donald Trump is stronger than LeBron James. I mean, with his answers, it's so absurd. Even if that is true, even if that's true, it's still concerning. It should be concerning to you. It's concerning to me, but not the orange orangutan. And here's a reporter asking, what do you say to Americans who have their retirement accounts falling in recent days? Yes, that's right. 401ks are dropping, the NASDAQ, the Dow, retirement accounts. Here's Donald Trump's response to that.
Go ahead. What else?
President, question on Robert. Go ahead.
Americans who have seen their retirement accounts fall in recent day are getting very nervous about these tariff conversations.
Well, I think the tariffs are going to be the greatest thing we've ever done as a country. It's going to make our country rich again. We have many companies, as you know, auto companies are opening up plants now. We've had 4 or 5 announced already, but many more are coming. And we're basically going to take back the money, a lot of the money that we've given away over many decades. We've lost our jobs, we've lost our factories. We've lost 90,000 factories since the beginning of NAFTA. It's not that long ago. 90,000 factories. Think of that. And we're going to get them back. And they're coming back. And they're coming back in records. Look at what happened with the big chip company, the biggest in the world. By far the most powerful chip company in the world, from Taiwan. And they're going in with $200 billion of money. And they're going to build something that's going to give us 35-40% of the chip market in one company. No, it's going to bring it back. And I think it's going to make us, bring us to a level that we've never had before.
The President of the United States doesn't understand how tariffs work and doesn't understand that it's the American consumers are the ones that are going to be suffering. He's so stupid with his ego. He's specifically asked about retirement accounts. And not only does he not directly answer the question, but he says, I think the tariffs are going to be the greatest thing we've done as a country. There is not one economist in this country, or quite frankly in the world, that is not biased, that would say that this is going to be good for our economy. And he's praising these tariffs. People are suffering. Don't even get me started with the people that are losing their jobs throughout the country. Don't even get me started. 401ks, retirement accounts, which was the question that he did not answer. Many of these people voted for Donald Trump. You F around, and this is how you find out. And by the way, I give these reporters a lot of credit because I thought they were asking a lot of really good questions. These are the kind of questions that I would ask Trump specifically. And then there was a reporter that was talking about worried, Mr. President, are you worried about an upcoming recession? And this was the response that Donald Trump gave this reporter to what is another very valid question where a lot of Americans are worried.
Where are we? We're just about ready to land.
Are you worried about a recession? Maria Bartiromo asked you, and you kind of hesitated.
I'll tell you what, of course you hesitate. Who knows? All I know is this: we're going to take in hundreds of billions of dollars in tariffs, and we're going to become so rich, you're not going to know where to spend all that money. I'm telling you, you just watch. We're going to have jobs. We're going to have open factories. It's going to be great, and the plane is landing. And thank you for a lot of good questions, okay? Thank you very much, everybody.
Yeah, thank you for a lot of awful answers. You didn't directly answer one. Of course I paused. We're going to take in hundreds of millions of dollars in tariffs. I mean, the guy is so stupid. The people that are going to suffer from this are both sides of the equation. That's what's worse. It's not even just one side that's going to be suffering. We're going to be suffering too. Tariffs in Canada, tariffs in Mexico, you name it. They're going to suffer, and we are going to suffer, the American consumer. But yet Donald Trump doesn't seem to understand the basics of how tariffs work and the suffering that is going to be taking place because of it. F around and you find out. The economy is going to be going into the tank. It's already headed in that direction. As I've said before, and I say again, Donald Trump said the war would be over in 24 hours. The war in Ukraine is worse off now than it was the day before Donald Trump took office. The Israel-Palestinian conflict, especially with Hamas, is worse off now than it was 7 weeks ago. Gas prices are rising across the country. And when I make statements like that, I get idiotic MAGA morons that say, oh, well, in my city, gas is down 12 cents. Hey, bozos, I'm not talking about your city. That might be true. I'm talking about the average across the country. Gas prices are up. Inflation is up. Egg prices through the roof. The NASDAQ is down. The Dow is down. Your 401ks are down. Retirement accounts have fallen in recent days. There are no positives to speak of. People are losing their jobs throughout the country, particularly veterans that hold government jobs. Where are the positives? Yes, he did pardon a bunch of January 6th violent criminal insurrectionists, some of whom beat police officers. He did fulfill that promise, didn't he? There are migrants, so many of them nonviolent criminals, who have been in this country for decades, pay their taxes, good, decent people. They don't have the proper documentation. Instead of helping those people and saying, all right, we need an easier pathway to citizenship for you. We got to get you legal. Let's go through the process. We're going to have some people that are going to help you. No, they separate families and they get deported. And Tom Homan has a smile on his face because these MAGA Republicans like to see human beings suffer, particularly people that are brown. That is what Donald Trump has accomplished in his first 7 weeks in office. Make no mistake about it. That is what he's accomplished. But yet he wants to brag about tariffs, and the MAGA buffoons out there want to make it like, oh, he's really getting the job done. Look at what he's accomplished in 7 weeks. Well, yeah, he's ruining our country. The world is on fire. The country is on fire. The economy is lagging. People are struggling. There are Republican town halls, or at least there was, Republican town halls across the country where some of their own constituents are very angry and they're walking out and they're not going to be holding any more of these town halls. And then without any evidence at all, they're claiming, just like they claimed Antifa was responsible for January 6th, they're claiming these are George Soros paid actors that are going into the, by the way, no evidence of that at all. None, zero. Many of these people that are in these town halls across the country are Republicans that voted for Donald Trump, and now they have buyer's remorse or voter's remorse, for lack of a better term. And this is, ladies and gentlemen, this is just the first 7 weeks. He hasn't even been in office for 2 months yet. And look at what's going on throughout the world. Don't say I didn't tell you so. For those of you that voted for Donald Trump, what could you possibly be happy about unless you are a bigot and you enjoy seeing brown people that are suffering and struggling and families being separated, or unless you're a white supremacist or a white supremacist sympathizer like a Tucker Carlson or a Kyle Rittenhouse, then you're really happy. You're really happy to see these January 6th criminals being pardoned. You're probably very happy to see that. I mean, what is going on here? What is going on in this country where anybody could actually brag about the actions of Donald Trump? Brag about the fact that he signed an executive order where less people now are going to get their insulin capped at $35 because of the orange orangutan, where billionaires are going to be paying less for taxes and those that are living paycheck to paycheck are going to be paying more. How could anybody in this country be okay with what Donald Trump has done in the first 7 weeks unless you're a bigot or extremely ill-informed and uneducated, usually middle-aged white people? Donald Trump's base, I could shoot you on Fifth Avenue and they will still support me.